Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in Red Onion State Prison in the state of Virginia in the USA. Welcome to my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me. As all of my listeners know, my podcast starts off with a composed music piece. What you might not know is that composed music piece is based off of the Skype ringtone. And my wonderful editor, Jooyeon, whom I affectionately call Ramyun, which is ramen noodle in Korean, because we have a whole inside joke thing on that, and her brother John. They was kind enough to, put together the piece for me. And today, I'm going to talk about music. Music in my life, music in prison in general, and just whatever else I can think of to talk about on music. So I'll start off with just music in general. Music is designed and created to bring about emotional response in the person who plays it and in the person who listens to it. No matter who you are, unless you're just soul dead, music is going to move you in some form, shape, or fashion. Now, not all music will move you, like rap doesn't move me. I don't even like rap simply because I literally cannot understand what they're saying. There's a few artists I did, but very, very few. But the thing is, here in prison, as it's unfortunately mostly filled with black guys, rap is extremely, extremely prevalent. And rap affects black people in so many different ways. Because, in my opinion, and what I see, for the most part, those who do rap professionally, they come from the streets. Yeah, you have a few that come from the suburbs or even nicer or whatnot, but the overwhelming majority of rappers, artists, they come from extremely poor environments. And the overwhelming majority of black inmates come from an extremely impoverished background. So they have that in common. Like, they understand the struggle because they come from the same streets. You would be amazed at how many black guys in prison actually know famous rap stars. Like, they was in the same gang together. They come from the same hood together. Like, they hung out and did dirt together. It's an extremely important connection to them. So I'm forced to listen to guys in here constantly rapping. Either they'll have their headphones on with their JP5 players, the ones that still work, that is, and they'll walk around just rapping along to the songs. Or you'll have guys in here who actually write their own lyrics. There's a guy in here, his name is Turk. I don't know if that's his music name or whatnot, but he actually raps over the phone and has somebody on the street record his raps and then put them up on his Facebook page and internet and so on and so forth. And I think he actually has a couple of songs on JPay's website where we guys in here, because we can buy music through the JPay kiosk. It's either $1.52 a song or it's $1.99 per song. And the albums are $15.38 on up. You have some of the older albums from like the 70s or 80s. You can, find a couple of them for, $7.99, $8.99 or what have you. But usually the stuff is 200% markup on what you would pay on the street for a song. But you have guys that do that because it means something to them, because it's an outlet. It allows them to express themselves in a certain way. It gives them some calm. It gives them some stress release when they walk around and they're rapping and, in their heads, they're this famous rap star and whatnot. On the other aspect, you have guys in prison, mostly the white dudes, listen to rock, listen to country, which is what I listen to. But even then, I still had the same problem that I do with rappers. Like, there's so many rock stars, I literally can't understand what the hell these people are saying. I don't understand how most artists, regardless of what genre it is, I don't understand how it is that they have the career they have and they don't know how to enunciate. And that's one of the reasons why I don't listen to a lot of music. it just, if I can't understand it, what's the point of listening to it? Because if I don't know what the lyrics are saying, how can I agree with it? How can I like it? Or how can I love it? How can it mean anything to me if I can only understand 2 out of every 7 words? So that's why I listen to a lot of older music, is because I can understand them. I can comprehend what they're saying. New artists nowadays, I don't listen to. There is one artist that this guy named Dennis in here, he turned me on to. Her name was Gabby Barrett. She's a female country singer. He let me listen to a couple of her songs on his player, because his player's battery and everything still works. And I liked her, because I can understand what she was saying and everything. I wouldn't say, her songs are terribly weighty and intellectual thought, or something like that. Say first, like one of my favorite artists is Jamie Johnson, and Jamie Johnson is a phenomenal artist. He's known for one song called "In Color," and that is an incredibly beautiful, touching song. But he has a lot of songs that are just very, very good. And he has this one song, what's the name of it? Hey, Dennis, what was that Jamie Johnson song we was talking about, man? High Cost of Living, that's it. Sorry, I couldn't remember it, and my mind was drawing a blank, so I just asked Dennis since he's sitting beside me. Yeah, and the High Cost of Living, like, that is an incredibly enriching song, because he's talking about doing drugs and how he lost his wife, his best friend, and his life, and all of these things he lost, and it's like the high cost of living. I mean, this dude is one of the best songwriters I have ever heard. And I've been listening to music my entire life. I've gotten to the point where I don't particularly care for music anymore. One, because it's so expensive to buy through JPay, and that's the only place we can buy. They have the monopoly on music in here. You buy it from them or you don't get it, period. And like I said, it just costs too damn much. And, I can't understand the lyrics, but I like music that moves me emotionally. I like music that touches me. There's a guy named Cody Jinks, and he's another really good songwriter, and he's got one called David. Go and listen to that song, because I remember my buddy Frank, I've talked about him numerous times on the podcast, so long-time listeners will know exactly who I'm talking about. We was at work one day in D6 when we was still over there in the IM6 closed pod, and we was out rolling sporks, and he had snuck his player out, because at that time we couldn't bring our JP4s out, to listen to music while we worked. So he snuck it out under his clothes and everything, and he, had a set of earbuds and whatnot, and he, once the COs kind of left and started doing other things, he was like, "Look, man, dude, you got to listen to this song." And I listened to the song, and I mean, it gave the first 3 or 4 times I listened to that song, it literally gave me goosebumps all over my skin and sent chills up my spine. Like, that song just touched me and moved me. I mean, it was an incredibly beautiful song. And, and I like artists that I can listen to that they're really saying something. They're telling a story. So those are the kind of music that I listen to. But music is very, very important in here. Like, I mean, dudes have literally got to fight over music in here. Just talking about which song is best or which artist is best. Emotions get high because we're already in a pressure cooker environment to begin with. They get to fighting and swinging on one another. And, it's an incredibly important part of prison, because it provides you with an escape. You can throw on the headphones and close your eyes, and you can either put on some slow jam and just go back in time and reminisce about the girl you used to know, or good times with family, or, just being on the streets, being a free man. A lot of dudes do that. If you get a Dear John letter, you go put on some slow stuff, or you put on some stuff that's going to get you hyped, get you angry. Like, yo, man, how dare this leave me? You know what I'm saying? I was good to her. She ain't never going to find another dude like me. I mean, there's just so many different reasons why guys listen to music in prison. And it's something that everybody who comes to prison, if they have enough money to get a player, they're going to get a player, they're going to buy some music because it helps you pass the time. It helps you process your feelings and emotions. It helps you to weather the pain. There's a very, very few guys in prison who are in the situation that I'm in who has managed to overcome and conquer prison. I own prison. Prison doesn't own me anymore. So I don't need music. I don't need books. I don't need television or anything to help me escape anymore. I still listen to music on occasion. I still read on occasion when I have books and whatnot. Every now and then I may watch TV, but now I spend my time writing and, doing what I can to help people and come up with new ideas for this or that. I've learned to do my time. But for those, and it takes a while. It takes years and years and years of constant self-improvement and development to get to this place. It's not something you're going to come into prison and within the first 2 years, you own the place. It's not. It's going to take well over a decade to get to this point because you have to have the experience. You have to go through all of these ups and downs. And music will help you to do that. I listened to, when I was younger, I listened to a lot more music than I do now. I can't listen to any now unless I borrow somebody's player, and that's just something I don't like to do because some guys have thousands of dollars into their players, with $50 for the player and then thousands of dollars in music. So I'm very leery about borrowing somebody's player because if it breaks while I have it, then I got to reimburse this guy for all of that. And especially now that JPay has put a hold on selling any new players until they can get some technical issues figured out. Music is important. You have guys in here that they're doing their best to make a living out of it. You have guys in here that fall into it and they live for music now. I hope music plays an important part in your life because it does help. Music really, truly helps depending on what type of music you're listening to. Music will affect you emotionally in one format or another. Like, all right, for example, in fact, I do got something else to talk about. Back when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, if I knew, like, if somebody come and say, hey, yo, man, dude was saying this about you out there on the yard or on the streets or whatever, I'm like, all right, I'm handling it. I would go and I would put on AC/DC. I would put on Ozzy Osbourne, Metallica, Pantera. I would put on music like that because that's going to get me hyped up. And while I'm listening to it, I'll start walking around. I'll start kind of moving and everything. And I'm going over in my head like, yo, I'm going to this dude up. Like, this is what's going to happen. This is going to be my opening move. I'm going to walk up. I'm going to steal on this dude. I'm going to kick this. And I'll just start visualizing. I'll just start using that music to amp myself up to get hype. And it would do it. That's one reason why I don't listen to AC/DC. I don't listen to heavy metal and, hardcore rock and stuff like that anymore. Because if I do, I'll find myself becoming aggressive. I find myself wanting to fight. You know what I'm saying? So I have to stay away from them because that's what music can do, especially if you condition yourself. So that's why when I get angry now, I don't roll the mattress up and punch, a heavy bag. I don't throw punches in the air when I get mad because if you do that over time, you start conditioning yourself. Every time you get mad, you start throwing punches. Well, guess what? One day somebody's going to make you mad and you're going to throw a punch and you're going to wind up knocking your wife out or your girl out or your kid or your mom or whatnot because you got mad and you're conditioned to throw that punch. And it's the same thing with music. So I prefer to listen to country, more old school country, some outlaw country. I like listening to Chinese music. The ones that you'll hear in like the old school martial art music, ding dong dong, ding ding dong, stuff like that. It has no lyrics to it. It's just all instrumental because that type of music is very, very calming to me. Actually, it makes me want to get up and do Tai Chi or do some yoga, some stretching exercises and stuff like that. And it's real calming and peaceful. So I like to listen to stuff like that. But yeah, that's music in prison. That's how important it is. And it's good for you if you know how to control what to listen to and when to listen to it. A listener to my podcast who happens to be a country music singer trying to make it in Nashville, Tennessee in the USA, has kindly sent a couple of songs in and is in the process of recording a Red Onion Randy song, which is mind-blowingly amazing. I never thought I would have a country song written about me. So we're going to play it for you. We hope you enjoy it. Thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate your effort, what you do. This is Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. Take care. Stay safe.
Hey Randy, Nicole Kerns. Just want to say, love the podcast, and I'm looking forward to future collaborations. We will talk soon. Have you ever wondered why the sky's blue and how this whole world turns around? Just how many people don't know you? And have you ever worried about the kids still growing up and what we are leaving them with the messes that we start? I don't know about you, but I hope it's true. Love can really conquer all, but what are we fighting for? And I don't know your God, but I sure hope you do. 'Cause at the end of the day, we're all the same.
Thank you for using GTL.